Hey, 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 and welcome in or welcome back. I'm Shannon Rose Scott. This is Sound Wisdom Tarot, and this is your full moon reading. So, this reading will last the duration of this moon cycle until the next full moon. Okay, so these are the energies you can expect for this whole moon cycle. We'll use Light Series Tarot, I think, although some other decks might pop out. And at the end, you'll have a chance to ask some yes or no questions, and we'll use the pendulum. We'll also use some oracle decks, and let's get started. So in honor of this full moon, let's bring it in. Spirit guides, high divine, intergalactical beings, and angel guides. Please help me connect with the spirit guides of my chosen collective tuning in. Wow, your guides are strong. Tuning in to this full moon reading. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you to you for being here as well. I really appreciate your energy. And let's get it. All right. I'm feeling Celtic cross spread. All right, so Spirit, what does our collective need to know, please, for this full moon? And collective, go ahead and hit that like button, please. Subscribe. Make sure you've got the notifications on, all of that jazz. Oh, look, we have a card that flipped out. 4 of Wands. This card somehow ended up backwards, and I did not notice that. That was not intentional. So wow, okay. So overall energy already coming through. I love this for you, collective. Oh my goodness. Your energy for this moon cycle is like the 1111 card. 4 of Wands is the 1111. This is like happy life. This is marriage perhaps, or commitment of some kind. This is celebration. This is all the good things. This is a beautiful love card. Wow, okay. So that wanted to speak right away. I love that. All right, thank you. So in honor of 1111, 11 more times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so the main theme for this moon cycle. Ooh, how are these cards? How did that even flip out? I'm gonna have to watch the replay to see how that did that. But I don't like this. Okay, so your 10 of Wands. That's a hard energy to be the main theme this month. This is a sign that you're leaving something behind. You've packed up and you're on your way. Now, I suppose this could, though, be the start of it's the start of a brand new journey. It's something has ended. Tens are about endings, completion. So something has ended, and now you've packed up your whole home on your back, and you're leaving to something new. Okay, that's a big energy. That's a big energy for this moon cycle. But it's also like a heavy burden. Right? You've gone through something really challenging. The good news is that is over, but you're leaving because it was heavy, because it was hard. So there's something heavy you're leaving behind, but I'm feeling positive for you, collective, because of this 4 of Wands that came out. Now I got to see what fell on the floor here. Oh my goodness, two of them. 3 of them, and one of the little ones. So this must have been a fallen card from a different reading I did that I didn't even notice. But I mean, nothing happens by accident, collective. So this was meant to come out for your reading. You've got the Fool, clarifying this 10 of Wands. And we've got 2 more Wands. Okay, so we've got the 9 of Wands and the 2 of Wands. And the Nine of Wands is further confirmation that things have been a hard journey. You've like kind of built this wall up around yourself, or you've tried to. Of course, like you can see this person's taller than the wall. But you've kind of been like feeling guarded. There's been something going on in your life that has had you feeling so guarded that you've now like kind of given up on it and you're leaving it behind. But I like this beautiful card. This is a card of imagination and of looking forward to the positive. Right here in the Two of Wands, we see this person with a globe. We got a little van life here going on. And so you have been like thinking about a new journey, of a new destination. There's a part of you though that's still stuck on something from your past. It's not completely out of the room yet. You know, she's already holding on to the new desire, but there's this old desire that is still in her energy that she still hasn't completely let go of. And I guess this is this whole process you're going through this month, is leaving these energies behind, right? Leaving this feeling of guardedness behind, leaving this old passion that you've really worked so hard at. And you're trying to instead focus on the new adventure, but every now and then you keep thinking of the past. But you got to keep focusing on this new adventure, because that's also symbolized by this Fool card. I find that so fascinating. This is the little itty bitty card. Unless I somehow, again, I gotta watch this replay, unless I somehow not knocked it off. But Tarot's so magical. These messages come through in the most interesting ways. There are no accidents. They're all here for our awakening. So yeah, you are bringing in the Fool energy on this. And the Fool energy is not foolish. This is a beautiful, beautiful card of being like ready. Being ready to start something that has never been done yet before. So sometimes the Fool like gets almost minimized when we think of like, oh, okay, you're starting some brand new journey. It's like, no, it's literally brand new. It's never been scripted before. It's never been done before. It's never been thought of before. It's is completely new, and it's so new. It's so out of this world even. That's why it has the name the Fool, because people that aren't as enlightened, right, could maybe say like, oh, that's a foolish idea. Look at how dangerous it is. You're on this, like on the edge of a cliff. What do you mean you're walking the edge of the cliff? You know, that could be kind of like some of the mentality of people around you in your current environment, whether that's family, friends, coworkers, all that, kind of saying that to you, like, what are you doing? What do you mean you're leaving this behind and going off to this new thing? But she's got an amethyst in her hand. This is divinely inspired. And even if she were to fall, she's just going to fall into this beautiful sacred geometry. The net of the divine. It's like that, quote, leap and the net will appear. Yeah. So, okay, at first I was like, I don't like this, but I'm actually liking this for you. I'm liking this for you, collective. Yes, there's some like heavy, hard energies, but it's only by going through hard things that we really get to enjoy the beauty of the adventure, right? Sometimes if we didn't have hard things, we wouldn't leave our comfort zone, right? It's like only when things get so hard that we have to leave it that we suddenly feel free. Okay, it's like a lot to come out for the first position. I can feel like this is perhaps going to be a long reading. Grab a cup of tea or a cup of cacao like I'm drinking and get comfy, collective, because this one's feeling big. All right. What is crossing? What is your challenge? Knight of Pentacles. That's cool. Okay. So this is the card of switching direction, of taking a new direction, and that's your challenge. That's funny. You're doing it, but That's what you're being called to do, but it's your challenge. I like this version of the Knight of Pentacles. In most decks, the Knight is still on the horse and he's stopped. So he's like the slowest moving knight in the deck because he's switching directions. But usually he's like in a pause point. But here, this knight is already off the horse, already going to the next step. But this is your challenge. All right. So there's a part of you that like wants to stay on the horse, because you know that once you get off this horse, when you go in this different direction, some of the ways that you felt safe, you're going to have to leave behind. It doesn't mean you're going to lose money. It doesn't mean you're going to lose comfort and safety. It just means they're going to change. Yeah, so the ways you've been used to getting money, the ways you've been used to being, like having your comfortable life is going to change. But you want it to change because it hasn't felt good. It's been a burden, right? You felt like you had to build a wall up anyway. So, all right, but this is our challenge. Okay, Empress on the bottom of the deck. I didn't mean to turn the deck upright, but I did, and I saw it, and I was going to pretend I didn't, but then I'm like, no, okay. So we've got the Empress on the bottom of the deck. You have so many messages about, like, brand new beginnings, birthing something new, right? I mean, she's literally birthing a brand new world. And didn't I say that? Like with your Fool card, it's like it's something that's never been created before. It's out of this world. It's out of you're creating a new galaxy, you know? So I like that. Okay, what is in your past? Where are you coming from? Interesting. Collaboration of some sort. Okay. What is the known? What's in your crown? What are you aware of? Temperance. All right. Don't worry, we'll come back to these. Unknown. Oof. Death. Rebirth. Yeah, this one's heavy. This one's a heavy. What's coming up in your... Ooh, Magician. I like it. Okay, and let's just place these next ones here. I'll turn them up in a minute. Well, in quite a few minutes, I would expect. All right. Now, we already have a clarifier for our first position, but is there anything else that wants to come up, please, Spirit? And let's go with it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, because there are 11. So we've got, ooh, Knight of Cups. Okay. Crossing. Page of Cups. Okay, so this is like some love coming in here now. 3 of Pentacles is clarified by the 10 of Cups. Are you kidding me? All right, what's known? Oh my goodness. How are these cups all together? 9 of Cups. Okay. I love how tarot works. The Death card is clarified by the 10 of Swords. And the Magician clarified by the Ace of Swords. Yeah. Okay, and we'll leave these ones as sneaky surprises. All right. Okay. So once again, I'm not going to nail this one on the head because we've already done that. But this thing you're leaving behind is for new love. You're in search of true love. Okay, you're in search of your Knight of Cups, right? Your knight in shining armor. The Knight of Cups is the most loving of all the knights. He's like truly that knight in shining armor, the kind of love that you hear about in storybooks, that epic kind of love. And that's what you want. That's why that you haven't felt like that, right? That because in your recent past you've built up some wall, and whatever you're coming from could potentially be a love reading, or could just be a career, a life path, the life you were living, whatever it entailed, whether you were focused on relationships or whether you were focused on work, it wasn't bringing you a feeling of love for your life. okay? And so that's why you've packed up, that's why you're on your way. You're dreaming here about this Knight of Cups. You're dreaming about this dream life. Could include traveling, van life. But regardless, it's like you want that loving person, the kind of person that, you know, writes you little love notes and fills your cup, right? Who doesn't just take from you, who also gives back. He's like, the way he's sitting here on this chair out in the middle of a field, that's kind of a funny imagery. But the way he's sitting here, you know, with the flowers, and he just looks like such a gentleman, you know? He's not rushing at you. He's not, excuse me, still getting over a cold. He's not like grabbing at you. He's not, you know, being manipulative. He's being a gentleman. He's like the kind of, yeah, he's that loving guy. And whether, again, this represents a person, doesn't matter the gender, okay? But whether it represents a person or a career, a life that you're living, it's like, it's the life of your dreams. It's the person of your dreams. That's like that is a nice energy for your month. And again, the thing that's getting in the way is you actually choosing to leave what it is you've been doing and go for it. Because you have the Page of Cups clarifying this. I love this page. This is like the kind of when pigs fly. Where's the pig? There he is. We've got the image of when pigs fly, you know, so like so many people don't, and maybe even you yourself, but I think, okay, sorry, these messages are coming so fast, I don't have time to say them all. This is the kind of love that people don't believe is true, right? They're like, oh, when pigs fly, that'll happen, right? It's like, it's such, and that's probably why you're having a bit of a hard time actually going for it, because there's a part of you that believes those people who are like, you can't have that kind of love. You know, I remember being told that, you know, a long time ago. One of my friends actually said to me, like, do you think you're being too picky? And I'm like, no, no, I don't. Because I'm not going to settle for anything less than what I deserve, right? Than what I'm worth. I'm worthy. We are all worthy. I'm not more worthy than anyone else. We are all worthy of beautiful love. But so many people settle because they're afraid, right? They're afraid to leave behind things that feel comfortable, even if painful. We can get really comfortable in our pain, which is weird, but it's so true. You know, so many people stay in relationships they hate. They stay in jobs they hate. They stay in countries they hate. They stay in towns they hate. They stay in a life they hate because so many other people have told them, oh, you can't have that. That's puppy love. That's adolescent thinking. That's, you know, only when pigs fly will that ever happen. So that's what's been kind of stopping you. Don't let other people's smallness keep you small. So you just came from something where you were collaborating with somebody or some people, and it made you really happy. This is interesting to me that, so like, why are you leaving that behind? Let's get some clarification on that. Why is the Three of Pentacles and the Ten of Cups here in the past? Oh, okay, so we've got Judgment. I got the Lovers. And we've got Six of Swords moving on. Okay, so there's more of some sort of story coming here. All right, so we have work and love cards here. These could have gone together in the same situation, or it could be one or the other. Again, there's a large collective of people tuning into this reading, so you'll all have to make it fit your story, right? But you're coming from a place where you were collaborating, you were trying to build something, whether it was career, life, love, you were trying to build something here. And again, it could be both, love and career, but you were trying to build something with another person that you thought was going to be your 10 of Cups. You thought it was going to be this is like the happiest, most loving outcome, right? You were looking for family, whatever family means to you, whether that's with kids, whether it's your dog, your cat, your special partner, but you were wanting to build your dream life that's very loving. This is a loving 10 of Cups, right? We have so much here about your dream love, you know. I think for most of you, this is a love reading versus your career, and especially when we have the lovers here, all right? But then something happened where there was like a choice. See, the lovers is not just about love, it's also like making a choice. So then there was some choice that had to come up. And so potentially even this person you were with had to make a choice. The image on this card looks a little bit lustful. Because of the other images that have happened here, like having to build this wall around yourself that was showing up in the initial card, right? And the fact that you had to like pack up and leave this situation, it's like, I feel like this person in your situation may have had some sort of choice to make between you and somebody else. Perhaps even like a lustful situation and a stable family. Because we have judgment here. So this is rising up and this is like near the end of a cycle where you were like, okay, I am taking just the lessons from this situation. I realize what it is I don't want, and I'm awakening, right, to what I do want. I'm leaving the past behind, and I'm rising up out of a really dark situation. It's also another card of choice, right? When you're judging, it's like you're not being judgmental, but like you're judging what is good for you, what is bad for you, what you're willing to accept, what you're not willing to accept anymore in your life, and then you're moving on. Yeah, you have so many cards of this longing, this love life that you dreamed of. It didn't work out, I think. It didn't work out. Well, it's clear it didn't work out because you're leaving it. You felt like you had to build a wall around yourself. You felt like you had to set some boundaries here. You had to rise up out of the muck and choose a new direction. And this person they look quite sad and depressed that they're having to leave, but they are going towards the light, right? They're being guided by spirit here, all these crows. And they're listening. They're like dejected, but they're like, okay, I'm listening to my inner self and I'm going. I don't want to go. I wish things were different, but I know I have to go. That's where you're coming from. Now, what you know is that you need some temperance, and you're trying to work on balancing yourself again. You're trying to work on having self-fulfillment. 9 of Cups is like your self-acceptance, self-love, being okay being single, being okay being on your own. And you're trying to Yeah, heal. Temperance is also a card of healing your light and your dark. You're kind of doing some deep work, I think, right now. And you will be over this month. Okay? This month, this moon cycle seems to be like your shadow work time, right? So that you can feel full and complete on your own. So that you are the one who fills your cups. Instead of like waiting for this instead of waiting for this knight in shining armor to come and give you the love, you're learning how to give yourself the love. And darn it all, right? Don't we just want someone else to be able to frickin' love us? But that will come once you love yourself. And I know it's like, oh, we hear this all the time, but we hear it all the time because it's true. And so how do you do that? Well, you got to work with your light and your shadow right now. You got to do some shadow work. This is your month of shadow work, of learning what it is. How is it that you like let your boundaries be crossed, that you needed to create then such this big wall around you? Like what was it that you, what of your own boundaries did you cross yourself? Where were you not holding true to your own guidelines, your own moral compass? These are some of the questions you want to start asking yourself. How can you give yourself the love you're seeking? And what is unconscious, although I think it's conscious as well, but what is unconscious, what is really working out under the scenes here is the death card. So yeah, it's the death of that old you, the old you that is looking for love outside of yourself. But isn't this the most beautiful death card you've ever seen? And death only means transformation and rebirth, right? Death doesn't mean the death of everything. It just means the death of the things that weren't working. And that's clarified by the Ten of Swords, which is another death card, right? This is like this is also a beautiful Ten of Swords. Often the Ten of Swords is represented by someone with 10 swords in their back because they've been betrayed. They've been stabbed in the back, you know? But I love this version of the card because it's just like, yeah, you're walking towards the light. You have so many cards of leaving things behind here, right? Getting all these mixed up here. But you're Ten of Wands, Six of Swords, Ten of Swords, right? All these leaving things behind. But in all of these versions, like, and this is the most beautiful one. Here you're burdened, right? When you first leave, this is how you're starting off, right? You start off, you've got so much stuff, right? So much baggage from this past relationship that looks like it really hurt you. Right? You got some old traumas, and some of these were maybe even traumas from other past relationships, from childhood wounds, even from past lives, right? But then look, then as you start working with some of these lessons, well now you're just in a boat. You've lost a lot of that luggage. So that's good. During this month, you're going to get rid of a lot of this baggage. I like this. You're going to get rid of a lot of this baggage. Now you're in a boat with hardly any luggage. There's still a hint of it in there. But then look here, and then you're just walking free with nothing except hope. And you're walking towards the light, the most beautiful place, right? And you've got spirit all around you, guiding your way. So it's not like it's a good thing you've got nothing here, because these things you were carrying are painful things. You're no longer going to be carrying anything painful anymore. You're letting it all go. That's the work this month. This is the unseen work of your rebirth, of your death. It's like, in order to be the person we want to be, sometimes we forget that we have to like kill the old us. You know, we have to like let parts of us die. I'm being told, you might want to have like a little funeral for yourself, for the old you. Actually make a ritual of it. You might want to do that this full moon, right? Have a funeral, have as many funerals as you need for yourself until you put that old you to rest, because look at what's coming in this beautiful rebirth, right? Then you get to be reborn. Brand new. And this version's way nicer. Because after you do this shadow work, then you get to start manifesting what you really want. So then you get to become the magician of your own life and manifest the real love. Okay? Manifest the real love, not the dependent type of love, not the grasping, needing approval, not the imbalanced kind of love. You get to manifest and create. But you actually, that'll be part of your next job over this month as well. So not only are you going to be killing off the old parts of you that you don't want anymore, but that means you have to replace it with what you do want. And you need to be intentional about it, because otherwise you'll actually just keep creating the old you. So you need to take time. You need to write, set intentions, write. Who is it you want to be? You need to start changing new patterns and behaviors. So like the kind of person that attracts the kind of love you want, what would they actually do? Like maybe you need to change your skincare routine. And I don't mean in order to become beautiful. I mean in order to take care of yourself, in order to show yourself love, right? Like sometimes I can be bad at forgetting or just honestly not feeling like taking the time to wash my face at night and put on some lotion. But that's like a self-care act. That's an act of self-love. These are like some of the intentional rituals, right? Instead of thinking of like, oh, I gotta like take care of my face. No, it's like it's a ritual of self-love. All these little things, you need to start doing them. You need to start implementing them with purpose, with intention. Eating foods that nourish you. Showing yourself, maybe like buying yourself flowers. Right? I can buy myself flowers. Do all the things. It's so cliche, but it's so true. And make them all a ritual, right? That's part of the magician work. Okay, right. Get clear about the ways you want your life to be different, and what would it take? Who do you have to be to attract the kind of love you want? Like the way you are right now. Imagine the love that you want. How do I say this? If you were that person, if you were the lover you wish you had, how would they view you the way you are right now? If you were really honest with yourself, like how do you spend your time during the day? What changes do you need to make? Do you binge watch a little bit too much? Are you doing nice physical practices to keep your body healthy? Right, all of these things. How can you take care of yourself more? So your next steps are to start manifesting and to have this brand new way of thinking. Yeah, because you want to get rid of the old way of thinking that was like needing love from outside. You want to start thinking differently, and you can change your thoughts, not instantly. You got to practice the thought. Okay, you got to practice it. And when you catch yourself falling into your old way of thinking, you got to be like, no, that's the old me that I'm having funerals for. Okay, and maybe every time you catch a thought, write it out. Nope, and bury it again. It doesn't matter how many times you have to do it this month. Okay, these are your rituals. This is your work this month. Okay, we're at the secret card points. Okay, so what is happening How are you showing up right now? Moving. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? King of Pentacles and the Emperor. You are bossing up. I want to swear. I want to say, holy S, you know? These are such powerful cards. King of Pentacles and the Emperor. Yes, please. Okay, so this is you. This is you. You are so powerful. You can absolutely do this. Okay? So this is the you you're becoming. This is the you you're becoming. You got to do all this first, okay? You got to do your shadow work. You got to let yourself, the old you, die. You've got to learn how to fill your own cups, how to make yourself happy. You actually have to make that choice to leave the old situation and go towards the new. And you gotta start being intentional with what it is you're bringing in and start changing your thinking around love, okay, and around how you are. And when you do that, when you start making those, see, the magician's very physical, right? He's not just like, well, he actually uses all the elements, right? So he uses the physical elements of earth. He also uses his mental powers to change the thinking. He uses his emotional powers to change his emotions. And what's the fourth element? Oh, no. Water, earth, swords, fire, right? And he uses the fire of transformation to burn away and to rise up like the phoenix. Okay, so you've got to be doing those things, and when you do, this is who you get to become. It's so worth it when you feel like you're in those times where you're like, but it's so hard to change. Yeah, it is. It is hard to change. But this is who you get to become when you change. You're going to be the master of your life. You're going to be the master of this new galaxy. Where'd she go? There we go, of the Empress. Right? Got the Empress and the Emperor. So you get to be the master of this new empire. That's going to be your new world. You packed yourself up, you've left the old world, you're going off to this new world, and yeah, you're going to be super abundant. The King of Pentacles is the most abundant. So is the Emperor, right? The Emperor is like all four kings combined. And again, it doesn't matter your gender, whether you're male or female, you're going to be the king of your life, okay? The Emperor of your life. You will be attracting abundance of all forms, abundance of money, abundance of friends, abundance of love, abundance of being at the right place at the right time. And it's going to come to you easily once you do all this work. Okay, so this work is not so easy, but once you do this work, then you get to reap the rewards. You're also going to be more, what's the word I'm looking for? Like a chess player, more strategical in how you make moves in the future. So yeah, in the future regarding like your love life too, you're not going to be out there trying to get love. You're going to just be like, come on. I'm here. Actually, you don't even have to say come on. You're just going to be sitting there and you're going to be surrounded by people that want you. All right, you just got to like sit back and let them come to you. And you're going to be more strategical. That's not in a sneaky way, right? That's like in a clever way, right? In a way that you don't let your boundaries get crossed anymore. You know how to, play the game. Who will you be attracting? Okay. All right. You got the Tower. And you have the Eight of Swords. This is who you're attracting. This isn't you. This is in your environment. I feel like there's going to be some people in your environment that don't want you to change, right? That are going to try to keep you stuck. in overthinking, in low vibration. Could even be your ex, or the people anyway from the situation you're leaving behind. That's the thing, when we change so dramatically and when we boss up so big, sometimes it's hard for the people around us to get it. I need to clarify this. Why is the Eight of Swords here and who they're attracting, please, Spirit? Why is the Eight of Swords here? Why is the Eight of Swords here? Why is the Eight of Swords here, please, Spirit? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. The Sun. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Okay, so that confirms what I was saying. Whew. When you are the Sun, you shine a light on everybody else's darknesses. So when you boss up this big, when you actually leave that painful situation, there's going to be people that try to stop you, right? That are like, no, because when they see somebody else succeed, when other people that are staying small and they see other people choose happiness, choose self-worth, choose self-love, they start realizing like that's like shining a light on their own darkness, where they're like, oh, but if I'm like that's them, right? They suddenly realize that they're trapped in their own thinking, their own behaviors. And they're like, no, like I don't want to admit that about myself. So I need to pull you down to my level so that I feel better about myself, right? And of course, none of this is conscious. It's not like they're consciously doing that. That's what's happening underneath it all. And if we're all honest with ourselves, we've all maybe felt like that too with other people. That's like kind of the jealousy vibe, you know, when you're jealous of someone, it's like, it's because you want it. It's because they're shining a light on what it is that you want. And you're not letting yourself have it. So you're like, how come they get to have it? So this isn't as bad, quite as bad as I thought. You're actually, but by you doing this work for yourself, you could potentially actually help the other people in your life. So whether that's your friends, your family, I'm suddenly getting the idea that maybe some of you are teachers, because like this emperor, this king, sometimes they can be like guides, leaders, teachers, the magician as well. You could be showing people the way, showing people how to do it. You're going to create kind of some tower moments in other people's lives. This is a beautiful tower as well. This is like lightning striking in nature. It's like the flash of inspiration. And you're attracting this too. This is in your outside of environment. So you're also going to, you get the honor, let's try to phrase this positively, you get the honor of getting a tower moment. Instead of being like, oh no, I have to go through a tower moment. It's like, no, I get to go through the tower moment. I get to be enlightened. I get to be enlightened. I get to be awakened to the ways I've trapped myself. And I get to then free myself and live this freeing, be this free. And you're going to help others do this. You're attracting people that you get to then be a tower moment into their life. See, we're all connected, right? And we all go through these situations to help other people go through them too. You'll then be that flash of awakening in other people's lives. And when they see you living your best life, they're going to have to remove their blindfold and their ropes around their wrists that we can see is not actually true. This person isn't actually blindfolded or tied up. It's in their head, right? We think we're bound to horrible relationships. We think we're bound to horrible jobs, to horrible homes, to horrible communities we don't feel a part of. We think we have to stay there, but we don't. No, we get to choose freedom. Choose following our bliss. Because we wouldn't have a desire for something better if we weren't meant to actually achieve it. Like the world, God, whatever we want to call it, is not that cruel. You would not be given a desire unless you were meant to follow it. Look at this desire coming straight down from the heavens, straight down from the sun. Your joy is actually your life force. Your joy is what gives you reason to live. So you're attracting opportunities to have a reason to live again. All right. Hopes and fears. Hopes and fears. Now, hopes and fears are just that, okay? They're not necessarily reality. It's your hopes and your fears. Okay, I like it. We got the Chariot and we got the World. So yeah, you're really you're ready and you're hoping that you can become the Chariot driver. And we have this image again of the dark and the light, just like we did. This reading is so rich with details. The black and the dark and the light, the sun and the moon that you're balancing here in Temperance, this shadow work you're doing, the work you're doing on yourself to become your own, to balance the masculine, feminine within, the yin, the yang, when you work, when you play, when you nurture, when you give, all of this, you're working at balancing that, and that's what this Chariot driver is doing too. Okay, they're learning how to work with their shadow side and their light in order to move forward. And what a lot of people don't really understand is that we actually need both. We need both to drive the chariot of our life. A lot of people think they have to just try to get the white horse. They're like, no, I just want to follow the light. We call those light chasers, right? The people that ignore the dark shadows within, the people that ignore their yearnings, their passions. All of those are messages. We need to understand our dark side. We need to understand our yearnings in order to drive them forward, in order to work with them. We have to work with both sides. They have to work together in order to take you forward. And so you are very hopeful by the end of this month, by the end of this moon month, right? This moon cycle. By the end of this moon cycle, by the next full moon, you're very hopeful that you will now be in the driver's seat. These other ones, you were walking beside your ox, right? Heavy with burdens. Then you were in a boat. Where'd that boat go? Then you're in a boat, still heavy with emotional pain. Then you're walking with no more burdens, but you're still walking. And by the end of this moon cycle, you are now, look at you, sitting on top of your chariot with two beautiful horses driving you forward. And you're ready for things to change. The Wheel of Fortune. This is the wheel of change and also good fortune. You're ready for good fortune to come your way, where you're riding the top of your life, right? And where you're able to balance this you're able to stay in balance. We have a lot of balancing cards here too. Here you're physically balancing. And again, that Temperance was balancing the light and the dark. But yeah, you're actually staying balanced and steady even when things are changing. And this is a sign that, yeah, you're ready for your luck to turn. Okay, what's in our... I love it. Okay. And the most likely outcome, you got the Lovers again. The Lovers again. That's nice. So you came in your past. There was this Lovers and this choice, and it was what led to some challenge and difficulty. But your outcome is you get to you get to change that and have the love that you're actually looking for, right? You get to have a brand new slate. It's like a clean slate, and you get love again. New love. Beautiful love. Real love. True love. The love that you've chosen. And you also have the Hermit. I really like these two together because here we have 2 and 1. And remember, we were trying to learn how to fill our own cups, how to be self-loving towards ourselves. Well, that's what it looks like your outcome is. Not only do you know this is like interdependent, right? An interdependent love because you are also able to be on your own. And the Hermit is so full of their own light that this Hermit's kind of like floating on top of this mountain. It's like they got superpowers. They are so full of their own light that they can light their path. So it's like you're so full of your own love for yourself. You're not full of it, right? I don't mean it that way. You've acquired so much love for yourself that your love shines your way forward for you. And it's like you're a beam like that attracts the right kind of love. You're both. You're able to be on your own, self-sufficient, loving yourself, confident being alone, not needing validation. You can validate yourself and you get love. It's that whole thing I said before, right? That first you have to be the lover that you're seeking in someone else. You have to be that to yourself. That's this. And then you get and then I said, and once you do that, you get the love. Well, look at that. I didn't even know that was what was here. Tarot never lies. And that leads us back to that first card that came out. That beautiful union, that 1111 of true love. Collective. There's some hard energies in there, but it's followed up by like such beautiful ones. And that's like the juxtaposition of life, It's like we need opposites. We need the dark to see the stars. We need the dark to have the beauty of the day. We need the day to have the beauty of the dark, to appreciate the stillness. We need, the busyness of the day, the efforts of the day to then appreciate the stillness of the night. We need the warmth of the sun, but we also need the rain. Without the rain, we wouldn't have the flowers. Like it's all of these things. And so without these challenges that you've had to go through, you wouldn't get the love. You wouldn't get the bliss. Take a moment before we grab the oracle cards and before we do our pendulum question reading. I would be so thankful if you would like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already subscribed. And if you have, thank you. Thank you so much. Hit that notification bell and just double check that those things still exist. Because sometimes even if you've done it before in the past, sometimes like things change on YouTube and you have to do it again. So just make sure you have done those things. Really helps others find me, and it helps me tune into your energy more in future readings. And like, go ahead and claim this reading below. If you are ready for this, like comment below 1111. Comment below Hermit Lovers, comment below Fortunes Changing. Whatever like really spoke to you, comment it below, right? Feel free to share some of your story. I read and respond to every comment. And I really appreciate your energy and your support being here. All right, so here we go, my friends. I want you to think of a yes or no question. A yes or no question you would like to have answered. Go ahead and have that in mind. And here we go. So pendulum, please show me a yes. Show me a yes. Show me a strong yes. Thank you. Okay, so our yes is going back and forth. And show me a no, please. Show me a no, please. Thank you. Show me a strong no. Okay, so that's our circle. All right, so here we go. Now let's go ahead and ask your question. Think about your question now. Pendulum, please show us the answer to our chosen collective's question. Show us a strong answer. Thank you. Okay, so that's a no. That is a no. Clear from spirit. And finally, let's pull our oracle cards to close this reading out. This was a long one. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Sweet. Okay, so this whole you got generational curses. Generational curses. So don't worry, this whole thing is you clearing that out. I think there was even a part of me at one point that said this could have been lifetimes of burdens you've been carrying, right? Some of these old traumas, relationship traumas, they've been generational curses that you are here to break. Yeah, that's why you give so many powerful cards in this reading. And that's why you get to end with such a beautiful ending, is because you're here to do some big work, collective. That's why you're chosen, okay? You're ready. You are ready to rise above your past and allow the cycle to end with you. Wow. I love that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. A time to remember. Look back on your childhood. Yeah. This could help you in many areas. This could help you recognize some of the shadow work you need to do. I think first off, to recognize what some of the childhood wounds were. Look back on your childhood to help you recognize the childhood wounds, because those will surely have been like this whole generational curse stuff, right? It started in childhood. We have like an image of a child here too, right? So look back on your childhood to help you recognize these wounds. But also, I think it's also asking you to do some inner child play. Look back to balance out the shadow work, because again, you don't want to just be focusing on what's painful in your life. You also want to focus on what's good in your life, what you're hopeful for, how you're ready to play, how you're ready to improve your your sense of joy. And so by looking back on your childhood too, and remembering what it was you liked to do as a child, to play, to nurture yourself, those are the things to do. So make sure you're also giving yourself some sweetness in life. You know, as a kid, I loved just drinking maple syrup. I used to do it with my dad. And I still let myself just drink straight out of the maple syrup bottle. It's liquid gold. And yeah, that's one of my little sweet things that I like to do to treat myself. So, you know, find some of these little things. As children, we were enthralled, we were delighted, we were pleased by like small things, you know, a great book, an afternoon off to just do whatever I wanted, right? Morning cartoons, Saturday morning cartoons, all these little things. Let yourself play with some of these on your journey too this month, okay? This shouldn't just be a month of heaviness. You need to make sure you're also taking time to play. Well, that's what I have for you, collective. So this is a powerful moon cycle. Use it, okay? The energies are here for you to completely transform, to create something that has never yet existed for you or anyone else. Okay, this life you're creating has not existed yet for you. It's brand new. It's a brand new galaxy. Okay, use this energy. And it doesn't mean that by the end of the month you're gonna like have finished it, okay? But it means you'll be well on your way. Okay? Blessings be. Big love. Until next time.